Bunking myths with style and form. True crime, conspiracies, her game. Melissa Jade, remember her name. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery. Breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Microphone fierce like a roaring lion, unveiling secrets people been hiding. True crime queen of the digital scene, Melissa's got you hooked on her screen. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery. Breaking down your wildest claims, Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery. Breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. From murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery. Breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. 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 She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery. Breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Shay Benet.
Hey everybody, hey MJ, what's up?
Look at us. We're so early.
I know, I actually like it.
Honestly, I like it too because usually there's like an hour of downtime, like once I'm done with work before the stream starts, because that's my normal time to stream. But then I get off so late and it feels like, I go straight to bed. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see, because I know you're also behind me and it always hits your dinner time too. I'm like, let me just see if Shay's available to go now so we can end a little bit earlier. And you were, and I'm so excited. So people
Me
probably
too.
aren't getting notified because I did it less than 30 minutes in advance, but that's okay. We're here. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
That's all that matters. Screw dinner. We don't need dinner.
I know.
What are you having for dinner, though?
I really don't know. I've only really had like crackers today, and um, I was just thinking about maybe like, I don't know, I might make some like steamed vegetables or something. I know that sounds like really silly, but
No.
I'm
Sounds
kind of
good.
like craving that.
Then that's what you shall have. Do you have like a bag of mixed veggies already?
Hmm.
Are you going to kick it up with like some teriyaki sauce or something?
Yeah, I'll do a little something to it.
Yeah,
I'll
all right.
judge it up.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
not going to
See,
be like a
you can make those.
basic thing of steamed veggies.
Yeah, I get you. You know what? I went to Hibachi not that long ago. And the lady that, the family that we were at Hibachi with, because, you shared the tables. Um, the woman ordered, like, she wanted nothing besides vegetables, like, so no meat, no pasta, no rice, just vegetables. And then with the vegetables, she wanted nothing on it. Like, she just wanted the fucking vegetables on the hibachi grill with no, and which was really annoying because, like, when you're that many people, you have to separate the vegetables from her vegetables and our vegetables, and it's just whatever. But point is, how do you just have mixed vegetables on a hibachi grill with nothing? Like, no sauces, no salt, pepper, nothing. That's a crime.
So, I mean, the only thing I could say is what if, unless it's like a dietary thing, you know? It's
I
weird.
could tell it wasn't. I could
You don't
tell
go to
it wasn't.
hibachi for just some vegetables on a skillet. Like you're doing it up with
Yes.
all the sauces, everything. You want to see the choo-choo train. You want to see it all.
But not only that, okay, because again, she had her family there with her, so her 3 kids, the pasta had to get separated because they couldn't have any butter added to their pasta. And my fat ass, I'm like, what deprived children?
Oh my
Like
gosh.
I'm sitting there, like not that. First of all, like that's healthier, okay? But my stupid ass is like, oh, how deprived.
Are
What
they
do you mean you have to separate the pasta from our pasta? And like me and my spawn are like, we'll take the butter, please.
are they
What's that
vegan or
teriyaki?
something?
I don't know, but then it became an issue because he forgot to separate and he added the butter and it was like, oh, mom, he added the butter. And I was like, oh my God, like what do you eat? Like it was this big thing. I don't know. It was the strangest experience ever. Because then what's the point of going to hibachi?
So were they getting like the fried rice without the butter, basically?
The
When you
fried
say
rice
pasta?
without the butter, the noodles without the butter. Don't add any butter to the fucking meat because they put butter on everything, as part of the grilling experience with the whole dollop of garlic and the teriyaki and the soy and mosaki mohapi, everything, put everything on there, except they didn't. So me and my spawn's little section of the food, it's like fattening. And there was like the healthy, nothing added, but it was the vegetables that really threw me for a loop. That's all she had on her plate, and she wanted nothing on it, like nothing.
That should be a crime.
I'm telling you, it was a crime. It was a crime.
Butter is love, Kelly. I just
Well,
don't see how you make some of these dishes without butter.
I know. And like, I never felt so judged and ashamed going to hibachi because like, I very much wanted my butter. Because I could have made it easier and just been like, because they, it was 5 of them and just me and my spawn. So like, they had the dominant hibachi table, like, and I could have just made it easier for the guy and like, all right, just make it all the same. But no, I want my teriyaki. I want my butter. I want smother it. Like, I don't want to even taste meat anymore. I just want that deliciousness in my mouth. Basically. So, well, now that we just completely went sideways, let me do our missing child. Here is Trinity G. Fisher. Trinity has been missing since July 6, 2025 out of Minneapolis. Is it actually? I don't know what MN stands for. Hold on.
Minnesota?
Okay. She is 17 years old. I don't really see anything super identifiable. Her lips are gorgeous, first of all, but I don't see anything super identifiable as far as a beauty mark or anything. But if you or anyone you know has information on her whereabouts, please contact the Minneapolis Police Department at 612-673-2345. But look at her lip, Shay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's got very pretty features.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And yeah,
and
how
even
are
the
you
eyebrows.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Did you see people are starting school tomorrow?
What is this? You started school the 1st of August time.
Like,
I mean, I know it's into July, but
crazy. That's crazy.
I've never heard of that.
That should be a crime too. It's too high. Oh no, my Raisinets come tomorrow, but they're probably going to be melted. I didn't really think about that. Hopefully they're not. Okay.
Raisinets.
So we are in folder number 2, supplement report number 52, right? Yes. Okay. WatchGuard event. We have Brett Payne, vehicle. This was the test run. Vehicle test run. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start?
Yes. Give me one moment. I'm pouring my drink real quick. Sorry.
Oh no.
I actually had Pepsi.
Shay?
What? What?
Your audio went out. All right, I'll start while she fixes her audio.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I saw the green thing move, but we couldn't hear you.
Oh, I said, I'm sorry. I was pouring my Pepsi.
Shay. Fucking Shay.
I'm out of Dr. Pepper. I need something with caffeine.
The fact that you even have Pepsi in your home, Shay, this is just all about disappointment on this live, isn't it?
My husband likes Pepsi. I grew up Coke and Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Pepsi. Come on. Come on. You're so much better than that, Shay.
I know. And then my husband drank like the last Dr. Pepper and he doesn't, his favorite's Pepsi or whatever. Okay. So for vehicle test runs and glove collection, Brett Payne, at approximately 1700 hours on November 24th, 2022, I took the MPD school car, a silver Ford Fusion, and drove the route of the suspect vehicle. I drove two separate routes in front of the camera located at Blank Ridge Road, once westbound on Lauder Avenue and then twice on Ridge Road, southbound and northbound. I advised the command post of the times of these runs and requested the video from the point of contact at Ridge Road in order to compare the color of the test vehicle to that of the suspect vehicle. Once I completed these runs, I drove to 1122 King Road and walked the route MM, which is the DoorDasher, stated she took while on foot near the house on 11/13/2022. I also parked the MPD school car on Queen Road immediately to the east of 1122 in order to observe the effects of the orange tinted street lights located in the area. The lights appeared to make the silver vehicle look tanner in color than it would under white street lights. I also walked down and spoke to Officer Tesdall, who was providing scene security at this time. I spoke to Tesdall for a moment and then began to walk back to my patrol vehicle. As I did so, I noticed a black glove laying in the parking lot, approximately 25 feet from the front door. The glove was laying palm up. Oh, I got pictures of this glove because I was being weird. Okay, so the glove was laying palm up and appeared to have been laying in that spot for a couple of days as it did not have any snow on it. I nudged the glove with the toe of my boot and found it was frozen to the ground. I asked Officer Tesdell for rubber gloves and his flashlight. Upon further examination, there appeared to be a dark fluid-like substance on the glove. This substance's color and consistency was consistent with dried blood. Officer Tesdall provided me with an evidence bag and I collected the glove as evidence. The glove is a Polar Penguin brand glove with a rubberized palm and fingers. This type of glove is often used for concrete work. I brought the glove back to MPD and booked it into MPD evidence for submission to the state lab. The videos of the vehicle test runs were later collected and added to the FBI video files for this case.
Is that the glove from the interview room?
No.
Oh,
Wait, what is this date? 11/24? It might be. I don't
I'm
know. I
not
took a
sure.
picture of it, like the little penguin glove. It's like a black glove, and on the like top of the hand, it has like a little penguin thing, and they have like different colors on the palm.
Shay says
And
it is.
there's
Oh, Shay. Harlot says it is.
okay, yeah, then it is.
Um,
This was around the time they went around Thanksgiving.
okay. I'm going to have you read the next one because I totally forgot when I moved up the time that I have my grocery delivery coming. And
Okay.
so I can see they're pulling in.
This one
And
isn't
so I'm
long.
just going to. No, of course it's not. Nothing could help me, right? No, it's going to have you read a sentence and then it's going to be 1 second though.
You're fine. On December 5th at about 1000 hours, I met with LE at U of I Office of Civil Rights. I was provided with the flash memory drive. She downloaded it. I returned to the police department and gave the USB driver to MT with the FBI. Yay! All right. Next is going to be a tender warrant. Hello. Hey, everybody. Hey, Tess. I'm going to wait for Melissa for a few seconds, but yeah, we're going to go through tender and a few other warrants. It's going to be a good time. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. But I think these are really interesting how much stuff that they're obtaining and reporting. The civil rights Office of Civil Rights and Investigation. I wonder what they would be getting from there. Thank you, J13. I'm still nosy, like what's under the redactions. But I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys the tender warrant, even though we don't have it pulled up on screen because it's not very long, but it's Detective Mowry. And he issued for a tender warrant for Kaylee on November 29th, 2022. He said, I applied and was granted a warrant for any data associated with Kaylee Goncalves' Tinder accounts using the following identifiers, phone number, and a Yahoo and Gmail account. So on November 29th at approximately 17:09 hours, the warrant was served via email to match.com. On December 2nd, I received an email from NR, senior paralegal and director of the legal department for Match Group, the parent company for Tinder. They directed me to the law enforcement portal. On December 4th, I registered for access to be able to submit that warrant. And on December 5th, I received an email from Tinder stating, oh, I was reading 54 to them because it was just
You
a
were
Tinder
reading
warrant.
from that one?
Yeah, reading 54. It wasn't up on the screen. I told him it was just a Tinder
That's
warrant.
why I pulled it down, because it wasn't up on the screen. You could read it.
Yeah. So it just said I received an email from Tinder stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available to download. I logged into LE portal and that's, where they submit everything. So he completed the warrant return, receipt, and affidavit. These documents were sent to Latah County and receipt to Tinder. So that was for Kaylee Goncalves' Tinder warrant.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to have a little dead air, and I was like, this one's kind of easy.
That was good. I heard you do it. I'm like, that's good. That's why I pulled it down, because I already knew you were on the next one.
You rock.
Okay, let's see. We have a Department of Labor warrant, Detective Mowry, and it says on December 4th, 2022, I found that I had received an email forwarded to me from KW of the Idaho Department of Labor. The email was from Michael Douglas of the FBI. Sergeant Douglas assisted in the service of the warrant to the Department of Labor. Okay. The email contained a SIGIL file with the data requested pursuant to the warrant served on the IDOL. The file was downloaded and saved onto a computer located in the Secure Computer Forensic Lab located at the MPD. In examining the file, it showed the requested party's name, date of birth, and social security number with a corresponding screenshot of their reported income. I completed the warrant, return, receipt, and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's office to be returned to court. I also emailed a copy. Okay.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
K-Bar.
Okay. Not really sure what that's saying, but okay. That K-Bar warrant.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Okay. Let me. All right. So, Detective Mowry. Okay.
All right. On December 4th, 2022, I found I had received an email forwarded to me from PM of Cutco Corporation, the parent company of K-Bar Knives. The email was from Michael Douglas of the FBI. Special Agent Douglas assisted in the service of the warrant to K-Bar. The email contained a SIGIL file with data requested pursuant to the warrant served on K-Bar. The file was downloaded and saved onto a computer located in the Secure Computer Forensic Lab located at the MPD. So in examining the file, I located numerous individuals and companies who had purchased products matching the description in the warrant in the state of Idaho. And the following sales of 1,217 knives were located. And it's just got a list of Idaho and Washington purchases between February of 2022 to September 12th of 2022. And it says other models were also listed on the return data. I completed the warrant receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's office to be returned to the court. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to m@cutco.com, as this was the original email address associated with the documents. Done and done. That was easy. Got a lot of cells.
I was running back from across the room.
No, you're okay. I was just looking at some of the sales. We wrapped it up. I didn't read them out individually. I told
No,
them.
I know. Okay.
Ooh.
So this is the geofence warrant, Google geofence warrant.
Geofence what?
Oh, geofence 1, Detective Maury.
I thought they misspelled it too. I was like, wait, maybe that's a 1.
Geofence. November 18, 2022, I applied and was granted a geofence warrant for any data associated with anonymized information located within the following latitude and longitude points. S.A. Nick Balance with the FBI assisted in the production and service of the warrant. On November 18, 2022, approximately 23:30 hours, the warrant was served email at google.com. November 20th, 2022, S.A. Balance received notice the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available. The data files were downloaded to the forensic computers located in the Secure Forensic Computer Lab at MPD. Based on the information received and in correlation with cell tower records previously reviewed, 2 of the anonymous identifiers were found to be of interest. Those identifiers were 1 and 2. On November 20th, I applied and was granted a warrant for any data associated with the previous identifiers, including subscriber information. S.A. Nick Balance with the FBI assisted in the production and service of the warrant. On November 20th at approximately 22:14 hours, the warrant was served email at google.com. November 20th, S.A. Balance received notice the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available. The data files were downloaded to the forensic computers located in the Secure Forensic Computer Lab at the MPD, and it was found 1 of the identifiers came back to the phone number of redacted. I completed the warrant return, receipt, and affidavit. Those documents were sent, and that's it. Yeah, I don't have to read the whole that because it was sent.
You know what? I found out how his name is pronounced.
Balance.
It's Balotz. Yeah, it was
Is
like
it?
Mike. Yeah, Mike Easter said that he, I guess, trained Balotz and was working behind the scenes with them on this.
Oh, how funny is that?
Yeah, I was saying balance the whole time.
Everyone says balance, but I didn't realize it was balance. Good
It's
luck saying
fancy.
that from now on. Yeah, it is.
I
It's
know.
like pinkies up, you know?
I know. Okay, so this is Detective Maury. Meta warrants. So November 21st, 2022, I requested and was granted a warrant from Meta, the parent company for Facebook and Instagram, for the accounts associated with 4 IG accounts and 3 Facebook accounts. On November 21st, I logged into Meta law enforcement portal at 11:12 hours, and then I guess 18:03 hours, Instagram 20:39, 18:20 hours. During the service of the warrant, I found I was not able to add the phone number of blank as an identifier for JD, which I think we kind of saw that in some other reports. This information was not entered into the portal. I received an email from Records Facebook providing me with the internal case IDs that are redacted. And on November 30th, Meta sent the emails with those warrants and following police procedure to end it out. The same stuff where he turns everything in.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got next? Victim phone extractions, Detective Maury. So this states, on November 15th, I contacted Detective David Taylor of the Coeur d'Alene Police Department with a request for an agency assist. I requested assistance unlocking the cell phones of Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, the victims in this case. I emailed Detective Taylor a copy of the signed warrant describing the phones as being searchable. November 16th, the phones were transported to the CDA Police Department for a forensic brute force attempt to unlock them. However, Detective Taylor stated he was not able to extract any information from the locked phones and the phones were not supported for the brute force PIN code extraction. The phones were then returned to the MPD on November 17th. I then asked for assistance from Captain Tyson Barrett in attempting to gain PIN codes from family members to access the data on the devices. I was provided PIN codes for Mogen, Kernodle, and Chapin, which successfully unlocked the devices. The PIN codes provided for Goncalves' phone did not unlock the device. On the 3 devices I was able to unlock, I performed advanced logical extractions on the devices at the MPD. A report for each device will be completed separately. November 20th, I again requested the assistance of Detective Taylor in gaining a full file system extraction on the 3 unlocked devices. The phones were delivered to CDA Police Department on the 21st. On November 22nd, Detective Taylor stated he would not be able to complete the extractions. On the 23rd, I went to the CDA Police Department and picked up the phones. I then took to the Post Falls Police Department and spoke with Detective Neil Uhrig. Detective Uhrig informed me his forensic tools would not support a full file system extraction. On the 25th, I went to the Walla Walla Police Department and spoke with Detective Chris Ruchert. Detective Ruchert stated her forensic tools would be able to support full file system extractions on the unlocked devices and would be able to complete limited extraction on Goncalves' locked phone. I left the phones with Detective Ruchert to be extracted. On November 28th, Detective Ruchert informed me the phone extractions were complete and ready to be picked up. On November 29th, Detective Justin Dean picked up the phones and returned them to the MPD. I received the 4 devices and placed them in secure forensic computer laboratory. The extracted data was copied to the forensic computers and verified by hash values. So an examination of the data will be completed at my earliest convenience. Hi, Legendary. Holy moly. It's been forever. So lovely seeing you.
Did you see what he said?
No.
He expects an email apology, and he called you Jalissa.
I'll have to get right on that. Jalissa Maid.
Oh, good to see you.
It's so good to see you, Legendary. I love the photo, too. It's a beautiful photo.
Me too.
Okay. Here we go.
This will be easy. Detective Mowry, Yahoo warrant for Gonzalez. December 1st, 2022, I applied and was granted a warrant for any data associated with Kaylee Goncalves Yahoo account using the follow identifiers at yahoo.com. December 1st, approximately 13:55 hours, the warrant was served via the Yahoo law enforcement portal. And on December 4th, I received an email from Yahoo stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available for download. And then just kind of wrapped up his pass off to the prosecutor's office. Sorry, not trying to be redundant.
No, yeah, there's no reason to read that. It's the same thing for each of the warrants.
Right. His procedure.
Yeah, it's procedural. Hey, Bandy. So this one, once again, is a warrant for the Verizon. November 22nd, applied for and was granted a pen warrant for any daddy for any data associated with the phone number redacted, which was linked to a possible witness. Which is the DoorDash driver. S.A. Nick Balance with the FBI assisted in the production of service of the warrant. November 22nd, approximately 20-26 hours, the warrant was served via fax and email. November 22nd, S.A. Balance received notice the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available. Data files were downloaded to the forensic computers. The pen register, trap, and trace data were terminated on the November 30th. So M was subsequently identified, located, and interviewed as a witness by Corporal Brett Payne.
Completed It's not Maddie. It's Molly.
No, the DoorDash.
Oh.
The DoorDash driver. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
When I first saw MM, I was thinking
Maddie Mogen. Yeah.
Okay, Molly. Okay.
Molly. So
that's how they found her first, was the geofence warrant then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is the disposable camera and vehicle keys.
Righty. This is going to be by Dillinger. So on December 7th, 2022, at approximately hours, I was assisting with the packing and moving of personal belongings out of the residence at 1122 King Street. Captain Brett and I were in the process of packing items from Kaylee's room on the third floor. Inside the closet, I was removing items from a black plastic three-drawer organizer. In the bottom drawer, I located a Kodak power flash disposable camera and a GoPro camera in a small black zippered pouch. I was unaware if these items had been located during any of the previous searches of the residence, so I took custody of them until I could learn that information. I advised the captain of the items and showed them to him. After completing the packing and moving of personal belongings, I brought the GoPro and the Kodak camera back to the police department. Prior to leaving the residence, I also took possession of the keys to all the vehicles belonging to the deceased. Once back at the police department, I located the items I locked the items into a temporary storage locker in the evidence processing room. I later contacted the investigative team and learned the memory card from the GoPro was seized during a previous search of the residence, so the camera itself was of no evidentiary value. I was told the Kodak disposable cameras should be booked into evidence. On December 8th, 2022, I met with property coordinator TS. He assisted me in booking, or they assisted me in booking the Kodak camera into evidence. I then took the vehicle keys and the GoPro camera to the city shop where the rest of the personal belongings from the King Street residence were being stored. I placed the GoPro camera into one of the boxes containing Kaylee's belongings, and I left the vehicle keys contained in a Ziploc bag also in the storage area with the other belongings.
Okie dokie.
I hope if those photos don't have any evidentiary value, they'll give them to the family.
Yeah, you would hope, but after, Maddie's mom saying that she got very limited items back, I was happy she got that. I didn't realize that sweatshirt had value. That she had just gotten that during the parents' weekend, but I'm glad she got that back. In the infamous last photo of her. Hi, Kimmy C. So this one, go ahead.
I don't know if we read over it yet or if I read over this ahead. I thought we already read it though. Was Maddie's mom asked them for like a copy of like her messages and pictures with Maddie or something, and the investigators like burned it on a USB for her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. Okay. This is Tyson Barrett removing personal items. On December 7th at about 9:45 hours, I met with MPD command staff members at 1122 to package and remove personal items of the victims. Captain Dallinger and I packed the belongings in Kaylee Goncalves' room. I worked along the north and west sides of the room. Captain Dallinger worked along the south and east sides. While I was packaging items, I noticed $125 in cash on the dresser, one $100 bill, one $10 bill, two $5 bills, and five $1 bills. Captain Dallinger and I both counted the money, and I put it in a small clutch. I placed the clutch in one of the boxes and marked the box that had cash in it. Captain Dallinger and I both initialed the box. After all the personal items that were recoverable were packaged, we moved them to a U-Haul van and transported them to Moscow City shop. At the shop, we unloaded the packages in a secure building. Hi, Michelle. So this is Tinder warrant users. They were looking for everything, which it must have been so hard to kind of be going off of virtually nothing. You kind of have to just look everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So Detective Mowry on December 26th, he added to the Tinder warrant, and he's now basically applied for information associated with accounts that communicated with Kaylee G's Tinder accounts using the following identifiers, and all we can see unredacted is two Snapchat IDs identified with some of these. So on December 6th at approximately 1519 hours, the Warrant was served via the LE portal on December 7th. I received an email from Tinder stating the data requested was available to download, and then I completed the return receipt and affidavit. So no further info on that one.
A lot of warrants, yeah. A lot of procedural stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Tinder warrant for Mogen. It's the same thing. It's December 7th, received email from Tinder.
Yeah,
So
this
no
one, they're
recent
actually getting mad.
communications with other accounts. Yeah, the newest communication of hers seemed to have happened in 2021 on Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
This is Goncalves property release, so it kind of piggybacks off the one we just read.
On December 12th at about 8:30 hours, I met with the Goncalves SG at the city shop. I had previously arranged to release Kaylee's personal property to G at the family's request. I unlocked the secure evidence building and we moved 22 boxes containing Kaylee's personal items that had been removed from the King Road home into G's vehicle. There wasn't enough room in the vehicle for all the items, so G made a return trip. At that point, we loaded the remaining items, 2 purple totes, a clear plastic tote, and a yellow suitcase. G signed for the items, and Officer Rosinski took a photo of his ID to attach to the form at a later date. I secured the evidence storage building and cleared. Later that morning, I scanned the form and emailed it to G. I provided MPD records with the original property release form.
Okay.
We're getting through them.
DoorDash warrant. DoorDash warrant says on December 6, 2022, I applied and was granted a warrant for all information in DoorDash's possession related to sales, deliveries, purchases, and or transactions made to 1122 King Road for the period of January 1st, 2022 to present. On December 6, 2022, at approximately 15:35 hours, the warrant was served via email. On December 7, 2022, I received an email from DoorDash containing the data requested pursuant to the warrant. The files were downloaded to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic unit. I completed the warrant return receipt. Okay. It doesn't have any additional information in it. What number are we on? We are on 68. Uber location request.
Sweet. Okay, we got Detective Mowry. So on November 18, 2022, I logged into the Uber law enforcement portal and submitted an exigent preservation request for any location data associated with the Uber driver named Eric G. with the phone number of blah, blah, blah. Due to the nature of the investigation, Uber recommended an exigency request for the preservation. In a screenshot received from Olivia Goncalves, it showed messages which appear to be from Eric's phone between Kaylee and himself. The name of the recipient is Kaylee Uber. It is unknown if Eric was on duty with Uber at the time of him picking up Kaylee and Maddie. Uber stated if the driver was on duty, it would show the location of the vehicle. If the driver was not on duty, Uber would not have the data. I was informed by Uber customer service this is common if the driver provides personal transportation services. At 1434 hours, I received an email from Uber stating they received my request, and then I received an email from the 1617 hours from Uber, which contained files regarding the Uber logs of Eric. The record showed his location up until approximately at 1:15 hours, where it appears no other information is found, and Eric goes off duty. So I guess that's basically saying he gave a personal ride to Kaylee and them.
Yes. Which corroborates what we saw as far as the Uber warrant coming back saying they hadn't given, that he wasn't online at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interview with, is this Maisie Chapin. So on December 1st, 2022, Corporal Payne asked if I would assist in interviewing members of Ethan's family at the Leda County Annex building. I arrived and spoke with Maisie Chapin, Ethan's triplet sister, okay? I introduced myself to Maisie and told her I would be recording our conversation so I would not miss anything she said. Maisie had filled out an adult victim background questionnaire, which I reviewed before speaking with Maisie. Maisie listed Ethan as being easygoing, positive, friendly, funny, and stated that he did not have any negative issues or negative feelings with anyone. Maisie listed the following people as being the people whom Ethan spent the most time with: Xana, Kaylee. Well, actually, to be fair, I don't know if that's Kaylee. It's a K. We have
I think
K
those
F
are
C H
symbols.
H. Yeah. Emily. Yeah. Okay. So Maisie told me the following about the people who Ethan was closest to. Xana. Ethan and Xana had been dating for about 1 year and met through school. Maisie has known Xana for 1 year and met her through Ethan. Maisie talked with Xana once during Rush, but never hung out with her until Xana started dating Ethan. She partied with Xana, but never hung out with her outside of that. Xana was a junior, had a lot of friends, and knew most of the campus. Maisie met Xana's dad briefly during Parents' Weekend, but never met Xana's sister, and never heard anything factual about Xana's mom, but knew Xana did not have contact with her. Ethan would often spend time with Xana while she was at work at Mad Greek. Ethan and Xana never mentioned having weird feelings about anyone, customers or employees at the Mad Greek. Ethan never said anything negative about his relationship with Xana to her. So we have P.E. P is a redacted and in the redacted fraternity. Maisie does not know much about P. Maisie thought P was a farmer and from California, but she was not sure. Ethan would spend a lot of time with P, and they met through the fraternity. Ethan and P were very similar and would often watch football together on Sundays. P lives at Redacted. Ethan would hang out with P 3, 4, or 5 days out of the week. When Ethan would be with P, they would spend time at Xana's residence, P's residence, and several apartments at the Whites. Emily and Jack and their apartment were on the second floor on the left side. The blank apartment at the Whites were on the top floor on the right, like Ethan and his roommate's apartment. Then we have KF. K was one of Ethan's closest friends. K lives in Redacted. Maisie stated that K and P were Ethan's closest friends. Maisie did not see any drug use amongst any of Ethan and his friends, but said they drank a lot, which was normal for the fraternity life. Hunter Johnson. Hunter Johnson is dating Emily a lot and was the person who Bethany and Dylan called to come to their house the morning of the homicide. Ethan golfed a lot with Jack and Jay. And Ethan came... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think Johnson and Jay. I think Jay is that Josie's boyfriend?
I don't know what his name is.
Okay, I thought that was his initials.
It might be. I'm not sure.
I think it was like JL or something.
You might be right. I'm just not sure.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. Ethan golfed a lot with Hunter and Jay, and Emily came to their house over the past summer several times and hung out. Ethan never had any issues with Jack. Wait. I don't know why I said Jack. It would be Johnson. Maisie never heard of or observed Ethan get into fights with anyone. Ethan never confided in her about having problems or frustrations with anyone. Ethan never mentioned having any issues with any of the girls who lived with Xana. Maisie spent time at Xana's house and never observed any issues between any of the roommates. Maisie said she did not know Maddie or Kaylee well and said she knew Bethany and Dylan better. Maisie thought if Ethan did have anything he needed to talk to someone about, he would most likely speak with their neighbor,
brother,
Hunter, or brother Hunter, or Xana, because he saw them daily. Maisie said Ethan was an open book and was not a private person. I asked Maisie if she knew what Ethan did on Friday and Saturday, November 11th or 12th. Maisie said she was not sure what Ethan did on Friday. Maisie said on Saturday, Ethan did not go to the football game or tailgate and thought he spent that time at the Whites, possibly at, is it Jay or Emily's apartment? Josie or Emily's apartment, right?
Josie and Emily's apartment. You're
okay.
Right.
Maisie said in the evening, Ethan went with her to her formal event, which was at the Hunga Dunga from 1900 to 2000 hours. Maisie said they drove to Hunga Dunga in their vehicle with Ethan. Oh my God, I keep doing this.
It's a lot. Your back shits.
Ethan Hunter Chapin with his date, R.S. Dylan. Oh my gosh. Where am I? Dylan. No, wait. I need to do this again. The redactions are all getting blurred. With Ethan Hunter. Hunter's date, R.S. There's another little redaction there. I think it's DM with Dylan Mortensen. And Dylan and Jay are both, I don't know, members. Maisie said Hunga Dunga was rented by her sorority and this was a private event. Maisie told me she knew the majority of everyone who was at Hunga Dunga and nothing out of the ordinary occurred while they were at the event. Maisie said they all left Hunga Dunga in the same car and drove to her sorority where the girls, including her, got out, went inside, and changed clothes. Maisie said R, H, and R all got back in the car and left with Ethan. H, D, and J to go to a party at Redacted. Maisie said she texted Ethan at approximately 2014 hours, telling him she did not want to go with him to Redacted and she was going to stay at her sorority. Maisie said Ethan texted her several times trying to convince her to come, but she did not go and eventually fell asleep around 2200 hours. Maisie said the Redacted party was just a normal Saturday evening party. I asked Maisie if she saw any weird comments on Ethan's social media. Maisie said she recently logged into Ethan's Instagram account and made it private because it was public, and a lot of random people were making bad comments on it. Maisie said people were speculating this was a drug-related thing or something to do with the girls. Maisie told me she did not notice the names of the people who were commenting, but said there were weird comments with just one follower. Maisie said people were making bad comments on all of the other victims' accounts as well. I asked Maisie if the girls had any bad feelings with any of their neighbors. Maisie said she did not think so. Maisie told me she was at Xana's house a lot of the weekends and said they would often get noise complaints. Maisie said she was present for 2 of the noise complaints. She thought the person making the complaint lived in a house behind 1122, but was not certain. Maisie told me she never witnessed any retaliation from any of the neighbors. I asked Maisie if Xana and her roommates knew everyone who lived around them, and she said she did not know. I thanked Maisie for speaking with me and told her if she thought of anything else to let us know, and my conversation with her was recorded and copied onto DVD and booked into MPD evidence.
Oof. It's a lot.
The redactions make it super hard because it's the first and last name initials, but when they're grouped together like that, because there's already so many players,
Yeah.
It could be hard to decipher sometimes.
Yeah, I had to take a second look at it because I was like, did Dylan go to that? But I think it said DM and his date. So DM must be a guy we never heard of.
Yeah, I guess so.
So oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're
Go
fine.
ahead.
I was just reading a comment.
Detective Mowry, Walmart Warrant Services. So on November 21st, 2022, I applied for and was granted a warrant to Walmart for related sales for the following items in period of January 1st, 2022 to present for the K-Bar USMC fighting knife sheath and the USMC straight edge knife. On November 28, 2022, at approximately 1316 hours, the warrant was served via the LE portal and to forensic account MD with the FBI assisted in the production and service of the warrants. On December 8th of 2022, I received a packet from Walmart containing paper documents and 2 DVDs with sales data on them from the local Walmart in Moscow, Idaho. These were downloaded to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at MPD. On December 9th, I received notice from FAD. The data requested pursuant to the warrant was received. The data files were then downloaded to the forensic computers and then located within the secure lab at MPD, and warrant return received affidavit was completed.
Okay. This one.
I know through the point where they start getting into other stuff because I remember going, oh, there's more things in here.
Oh, I'm sure it'll all just be mixed up. This one says on December 12th, ISP Detective Lake asked me to request information from U of I OCRI regarding a rape involving U of I students that was reported in 2021. I emailed this request to KN with the U of I Office of General Counsel. On the 13th, I received a letter. I received a from LE at U of I OCRI indicating she had the information I requested. I met with E in her office at about 12:15 hours and provided her with a USB flash memory drive. E, she the information to the drive and gave it to me. Why is it written like that? On the 13th at about 12:30 hours, I returned to the police department and gave the flash memory to MT with the FBI. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Is this a tip?
Oh. Hey, we got Detective Payne, an interview of BJ from K Bar 157. On December 2nd, 2022, the FBI tip line received a call from K Bar employee MD, reference ALM. M had been contacted earlier on December 1st by ISP detectives Boone and Barrett due to his name being provided by K Bar on a list of people who had placed orders
Ow!
from K Bar.
Fuck.
You okay?
I'm so sorry. Yes. One day I will be taken out by this, what's on the top of this desk, so mark my words.
Oh, okay. D stated a call taker, BJ, from K Bar received a strange phone call from M on December 1st. Jay provided a written statement about what the conversation entailed. Jay stated she answered the call with the normal greetings discredited by K Bar. M interjected when she asked about his concerns about the call and stated, "We will get to that later," in quotes. Jay went on to tell M why the order was canceled. M stated he understood and never put his phone number on orders to prevent phone solicitation. M then abruptly asked, "What can you tell me about the two feds that showed up at my door today questioning my recent K-bar order?" In
Oh.
quotes. Jay stated she did not know what M was talking about and she had no knowledge of the investigation. M then stated something to the effect of, a K-bar sheath was left at the scene, in quotes. Jay stated she did not know anything about the situation and asked M if he wanted to complete his order. M stated he was a collector, in quotes, and had enough for now, in quotes. He also added he better hold off until things die down a little bit, in quotes. And then ended the phone call. I spoke with detectives Boone and Barrett on December 2nd and asked if they mentioned the knife sheath. Both detectives stated they did not mention anything about the sheath and that the conversation with M was very routine. They did not record their conversation. I called Jay back on December 13th and asked her to tell me about the call with M. Jay reiterated the contents of her statement. However, she stated M told her a K-bar sheath was left at the scene, in quotes, and added M told investigation into M continues. Interesting. So he said it's still he's okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it continues. Okay. So this one shows the evidence. This is who's this? Brett Payne. We have blood swabs. I applied for and granted a search warrant for Queen Road, the residence of Jack Showalter. The warrant was based off the following information. Off-campus house. No, I'm sorry. Officer house. Off-campus. Officer House and I responded to Queen Road at approximately 1,000 hours on November 15th, 2022. We walked on the common walkway in front of the door to Showalter's apartment and observed the exterior of the door. Can you hold on 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead. All right. So we walked on the common walkway in front of the door to Showalter's apartment and observed the exterior of the door. I think this one is actually being highly talked about, everybody. I'll be interested because I don't really remember reading it, but I know that I've seen some different online group stuff talking about it. It's
Okay. Um, so we walked on the common walkway in front of the door to Showalter's apartment and observed the exterior of the door. The area around the door had numerous spots of a dried fluid which appeared to be rust drops from a metal roof above the apartment's door. These drops were mainly on the wall next to the door frame, not on the frame itself. I observed what appeared to be a different fluid spot on the door approximately 8 inches up from the bottom of the door under the doorknob. I also noticed the deadbolt plating was clean, polished silver, and had no dirt on it. I walked away from the door in order to conduct an interview on a possible witness. Officer House and several members of the ISP forensic unit, to include Detective Hugh Powell, walked back to the Queen Road, redacted. I met back with the Officer House and Detective Powell a short time later, and they told me they believed the spot of dried fluid on the door displayed similar characteristics to that of dried blood. Namely, Detective Powell stated the spot displayed a cracking texture common when blood dries on a surface. The spot also displayed a similar drop pattern to the blood spots found on the banister wall and the wall on the stairwell to the ground floor, which I observed inside 1122 King Road. So hold on, let me go back for a second. So the spot also displayed a similar drop pattern to the blood spots found on the banister wall and the wall on the stairwell to the ground floor, which I observed inside 1122 King Road.
remember that was one of the swab
Yes.
samples.
Yep.
So I don't know if you heard me, but apparently I don't really remember reading this as much, but this report is being like highly talked about because people are wanting to push it back on Showalter, basically.
What made them get the warrant for Showalter's? Okay, so wait, the warrant was based off the following information. I responded, walked on the common, saw what they appeared to be rust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They told me they believed the spot of dried fluid on the door displayed similar to dried blood. Okay. So they stated the spot displayed a cracking texture common when blood dries, which coagulates. Okay. The spot also displayed a similar drop pattern to the blood spots found on the banister wall and the wall of the stairwell. So the banister wall and the wall on the stairwell to the ground floor. Isn't that the same wall? The banister wall and the wall on the stairwell. Is that... Oh, unless both sides. Okay, the banister wall and the other side. So it was on both sides of the wall, like as if, wow, okay. Officer House also told me he looked at several other doorknobs and deadbolt plates on the doors in the same apartment complex, all of which had a fine layer of dust. Officer House also confirmed Showalter's door did not have the same layer of dust, as though it had been cleaned off. I returned to MPD and was notified by Detective Vargas, who was reviewing security camera footage provided by the owners of Linda Lane, of possible footage of someone walking by the cameras at 3:50 hours on the 13th. I watched the film with Detective Vargas. The cameras show the parking lot of Linda Lane, which is situated directly south of Queen Road. The frame captures a portion of the Queen Road parking lot in front of redacted, but does not capture the apartments themselves. The area of Queen Road is also much darker than Linda Lane. The video is infrared and is thusly displayed in black and white. At approximately 3:50 on the 13th, per the timestamp on the video, a figure clad in dark clothing can be seen walking from the building which houses Queen Road, and the figure walks to the west out of the parking lot and leaves the frame of the video as the figure enters the sidewalk area between the two other apartment buildings at Queen Road. The terminus of this sidewalk is immediately east of 1122. The figure is not captured by the cameras any further. Based off the information above, MPD and ISP officers served a search warrant on the exterior of the front door to Queen Road. Access to the residence per the search warrant was granted only if a presumptive positive test for blood was found on the exterior of the door. Nothing was found during the search, and the warrant was returned. On November 23rd, MPD Officer Morris was contacted by Jack Showalter. No, wait, that's too short. By JS, a maintenance worker for Redacted, which manages Queen Road. So S told Officer Morris he conducted a routine maintenance order on Queen Road on the 22nd, wherein he discovered something of note. What did he discover? I had Officer Morris call S and place him on speakerphone so I could talk to him. I asked S to tell me what did he find. Tell us, S. S told me he and another maintenance worker entered the apartment of on 11/22. Oh, that's so weird. On 11/22, in order to check on a water quality complaint made by the tenant, made by Jack. So both men checked the kitchen and did not notice any issues. S said he entered the only bathroom in the residence and began to inspect the drain when the other maintenance worker advised that there appeared to be blood on the shower curtain.
So this is why they got the warrant.
Oh, okay.
I would think, right?
And the shower curtain, the one that's missing of Bryan's. Interesting. So S said he looked and discovered what appeared to be two separate smudge marks on the shower curtain, which appeared to be dried blood. S described the smudges as 1 inch by 1 inch. S said he then noticed another smudge of what appeared to be dried blood on the toilet flusher handle. S added there appeared to be spatter of dried blood near the light switch on the interior wall of the bathroom. That's a lot in the bathroom. I asked S to describe the marks. He told me they appeared to be reddish brown in color. S added, quote, I've seen dried blood before, and the marks appeared to be similar. S added the only thing he did in the restroom was flush the toilet in order to check the water quality. S said the toilet appeared clean but became clogged when he flushed it. S noted it was odd the toilet became clogged. S said he and his counterpart then left the apartment. I asked S if anyone else had reason or means to access the apartment besides he or Showalter. Is it Showalter? I don't know. Between the time he left and the current time. S said no. Yeah, I guess the other S would be Showalter. I served the search warrant with ISP officers Jeff Talbot, Hugh Powell, and Jake Schweik. We discovered the blood smears and spots in the location as described. In addition, there were more blood spatter spots on the wall on the entry into the living room. Samples of each were collected, 94 in total.
Oh my God. Sounds like you got entered and walked in the house and bleeding everywhere.
And ISP Detective Talbot took photos of the residence. Upon completion, I left the required paperwork on the couch in the living room, and Detective Talbot took a photo of it. All units cleared without further incident. The search warrant was returned on December 4th. 94?
Yeah. That's wild.
That's a bit weird. It's not unusual for blood to be in anyone's apartment and in small traces.
Yeah.
If anyone comes sweeping through, they would most likely find evidence of blood that's been cleaned up, blood that you can't see with the naked eye. But that much?
Yeah, maybe we'll find out in interviews the reason. I don't know. It's wild. And so that whole report is getting a lot of buzz.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. Holy macaroni. No, this was at Jack Showalter's hoodie guy. As if people didn't already speculate enough about him.
Okay. So next we got Brett Payne. On November 15th, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for blank Queen Road based off the following information as well as previous investigation. Based off this information, Officer House and I responded to Queen Road at approximately 1000 hours on 11/15. We walked onto the common walkway in front of the door to, I'm guessing, Showalter's apartment and observed the exterior of the door. Yeah, the area around the door had numerous spots of a dried fluid, which appeared to be rust drops from a metal roof above the apartment's door. These drops were mainly on the wall next to the door frame, not on the frame itself. I observed what appeared to be a different fluid spot on the door, approximately 8 inches up from the bottom of the door under the doorknob. I also noticed the deadbolt plating was clean, polished silver, and had no dirt on it. I walked away from the door in order to conduct an interview on a possible witness. OFC House and several members of the ISP forensics unit, to include Detective Hugh Powell, walked back to Queen Road. I met back up with OFC House and Detective Powell a short time later, and they told me they believed the spot of dry fluid on the door displayed similar characteristics to that of dried blood. Namely, Detective Powell stated the spot displayed a cracking texture common when blood dries on a surface. The spot also displayed a similar drop pattern to the blood spots found on the banister wall and the wall on the stairwell to the ground floor, which I observed inside 1122 King Road. OFC House was also told me he looked at several other doorknobs and deadbolt plates on the door in the same apartment complex, all of which had a fine layer of dust. OFC House also confirmed Showalter's door did not have the same layer of dust as though it had been cleaned off. I returned to MPD
It's
and was
like they
notified.
copy from one another's notes, didn't it?
Yeah, sounds like it. I returned to MPD and was notified by Detective Vargas, who was reviewing security camera footage by the owners of Linda Lane, of possible footage of someone walking by the cameras at 0350 hours on November 13th. I watched the film with Detective Vargas. The cameras show the parking lot of Linda Lane, which is situated directly south of Queen Road. The frame captures a portion of the Queen Road parking lot in front of blank, but does not capture the apartments themselves. The area of Queen Road is also much darker than Linda Lane. The video is infrared and is thusly displayed in black and white. At approximately 0350 hours on November 13th, per the timestamp on the video, a figure clad in dark clothing can be seen walking from the building which houses something Queen Road. The figures walk to the west out of the parking lot and leaves the frame of the video as the figure enters the sidewalk area between the two other apartment buildings at Queen Road. The terminus of this sidewalk is immediately east of 1122 King Road. The figure is not captured by the cameras any further. So, based on the information above, MPD and ISP officers served a search warrant on the exterior of the front door to Queen Road. Access to the residence per the search warrant was granted only if a presumptive positive test for blood was found on the exterior door. Nothing was found during the search and the warrant was returned.
There was a presumptive positive for the outside. Okay.
Well, and it looks like
Interesting.
yeah, because based on the other report, they didn't talk to what seemed like was it the maintenance people until later on in November. So
Right.
really that report should have gone before the other one, right?
Yeah, you're right. Okay. This is a phone interview with RR, Detective Vargas. Wait, so this is RRJQCW.
Oh,
Okay.
Kaylee's friends.
Yeah. On November 15th, I had a phone message from the front desk to contact RR, as she may have information regarding Kaylee having a stalker. RR interview. On November 15th at approximately 11:15 hours, I called and spoke with R. I introduced myself to R and I told her I was given her message to call about possible information regarding Kaylee having a stalker. R told me she and some friends had lunch with Kaylee around September 11th, and she thought Kaylee said something about having a stalker. R thought Kaylee mentioned receiving something in the mail, but some of her other friends at the lunch thought Kaylee mentioned getting a strange message through Facebook Messenger. R told me she had been speaking with all of her friends who were at the lunch, and they were trying to remember what was said. R provided me with the names of the other friends who were at lunch with Kaylee on or around September 11th. So CW graduated last year, U of I. MB left U of I last semester. SR, student at WSU. BD, unknown phone number, current U of I student. So R provided me with the name JQ and told me Jay and Kaylee were very close friends and had plans to live together in June. R said Jay was not at the lunch, but she thought Kaylee would have spoken with her the most. R said Kaylee spoke with J, C, and B the most. I asked R if she could think of anyone who Kaylee had any issues with, and she said no. R told me Kaylee was very kind-hearted to everyone. I asked R how the conversation came up regarding the stalker at the lunch with Kaylee, and R said Kaylee would always talk about things in a lighthearted manner and said one time she was speaking about childhood trauma in a joking manner, and they did not think much of it. R thought the stalker topic R thought the stalker topic just brought up at some point during the lunch conversation, but she could not remember how specifically. I thanked R for the information and told her to contact us if she remembered anything else. So the interview with JQ on the 15th at approximately 14:30 hours, I called and I spoke with JQ. Jay told me she and Kaylee had plans to move in together in June and said she spoke with Kaylee often. I asked Jay about the topic of Kaylee saying she had a stalker. Jay told me she remembered Kaylee mentioning something about a stalker, but could not remember any of the details. Jay said she last saw Kaylee the weekend of October 3rd when she came for a visit to attend the U of I football game. Jay said she also visited Kaylee around the weekend of June 14th and did not think Kaylee mentioned having a stalker on either of these weekends. Jay thought the topic was brought up sometime during the previous school year in May. I asked Jay if Kaylee shared any information with her about having problems with anyone, and she said no. Jay told me she did not know of anyone who did not like Kaylee or would have it out for her. I asked Jay if Kaylee mentioned having any potential love interest or said she was seeing anybody. Jay told me when she last saw Kaylee on the weekend of October 3rd, Kaylee said she was not seeing anyone or sleeping with anyone. I asked Jay what she knew about Jack DeCour, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. Jay told me Kaylee and Jack both loved each other and did not have any hard feelings against one another. Jay said Jack and Kaylee started dating when they were younger, and Kaylee broke up with Jack so she could grow up a bit and experience other things. Jay said at first the breakup was really hard for Jack, but they remained friends. Jay said she did not know the other roommates that well who lived with Kaylee. Jay said when she visited during the weekend of October 3rd, there were a bunch of people at Kaylee's house, but no one who stood out. Jay told me that she was with CW and handed the phone to C so I could speak with her. So CW interview. I told C I had spoken with R about the lunch they had with Kaylee and the topic of the stalker. C said she and her friends have all discussed the stalker topic and could not remember exactly what was said. I asked C if there was anyone Kaylee spoke to her about, and she said no. C told me she graduated from the university last year, was not in Moscow, and did not spend that much time with Kaylee. C said she did not know anyone who did not like Kaylee or had it out for her, and she did not know Kaylee's roommates. I thanked C for speaking with me. C gave me the phone number. C gave the phone back to Jay, who told me I should speak with Kaylee's friend NG, and said N and Kaylee spent a lot of time together. C and J have both provided me with their current addresses. I thanked both of them for speaking to me and told them to contact me if they remembered anything. It was all recorded and copied to DVD and booked into evidence. It is, that's a few times now we've seen that where someone who's speaking about either Kaylee or Maddie didn't know Kaylee or Maddie, like the other one, which is very unusual.
Yeah. Well, I think if they met if some of them met through their sorority lives, I could see that difference, because
Yeah.
they were in a different sorority.
Yeah, maybe. It's just strange because they were, they came together, so the idea of them not anyone, being close to them and not knowing the other is unusual.
I thought I remember Christy or Haley's mom or somebody saying it once, like maybe their undergrad years that they kind of were real involved in their sororities and didn't hang out as much. And I think probably until they were getting closer to this last year that they were able to live together and hang out, which would make sense. Okay, so we have Detective Mowry for a forensic extraction A. So on December 13th, I was requested to complete a forensic extraction on an iPhone provided by J.A. A signed a consent to search form for the device, and it was provided to me by ISP Detective Hugh Powell. The form has been uploaded to the case file. The phone was powered on, and I placed it into airplane mode to protect any potential evidence on the phone from being removed or remotely deleted. I took photos of the device and attached them to the case file. The phone required a passcode to access the data on the device. A provided a passcode of redacted. In examining the iPhone, I first looked for identifiers um, in indica, sorry, indica, sorry, of use and ownership. The device was black in color with a black colored case. The device was running iOS 15.1 and showed a model number of MG blah blah blah. The name of the phone was J iPhone. The phone had a serial number of blank and IMEI number of blank. It showed the user as redacted with an email of @gmail.com. The phone number assigned to the phone was redacted. In continuing with my examination of the phone, I made the following changes to the phone settings. Auto lock was turned off. These changes allow the phone and the forensic computer to communicate and share information properly. The phone was then connected to the forensic computers running the following forensic software tools. They use Magnet Axiom and Celebrite. So this extraction was saved to a computer located in the secure computer forensic lab at MPD. An examination of the data will be conducted at my earliest convenience. The phone was returned to A. Wonder who that is. Really don't know.
I'm not sure, JA.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay. Hi, Angel D. Good
Angel
morning.
D.
Good morning. Good evening. Good evening. Oh no. Okay. And when I say oh no, it just means there's a lot of redactions, man. All right. We have James Fry. Oh, Chief Fry. Interview with SP. Do we know who that is? SP. No, I don't know who that is. On December 13th at approximately 2,000 hours, I interviewed SP in Redacted, Idaho at the Redacted. I don't know why I'm so stern about this, but P had called me. P had called me several days earlier to report some information he had regarding the quadruple homicide. I asked P if the information he would be sharing would be dealing with one person. P told me it would. I asked P if I could get the individual's name. P told me the person's name was G or G. Later identified as GM 2003, which is the date of birth. P told me he did not know the individual's last name, but believed he knew where he lived. P told me he lived in the Redacted apartments. P told me this apartment is just off of the blank Ave, then turn onto blank lane, and then right onto blank street. And the apartment is across from the blank blank. P told me G lives in the blank apartments. P began by explaining to me that he had done a lot of work for DK, who is the prior owner of Redacted. I'm trying to remember if it rings a bell of any of. Okay.
Is it maybe was it former property owners?
I'm not sure. P told me he has been a friend of the family for many years and has done handyman jobs in the past for D. P told me in 2020 he drove D, his daughter L, and G up to the blank to a place the family goes to on vacation almost every year. P told me after they got there, R, who is one of D's sisters, got into an altercation with a male who camped near where they were. P told me it was a heated argument, but everyone eventually went back to their campsites. P told me later in the evening he noticed R and L were walking past the male's campsite, so he went up the hill where he could observe and make sure nothing was going to happen. P told me he had been up on the hillside for several minutes in the dark when all of a sudden, G just appeared out of nowhere. P told me it startled him for a minute because he never heard or saw where G came from. P told me G pulled out a knife to show him. P told me this was a hunting style knife. P told me he had spoken to G, who had showed a great interest in having a career in the military. I asked P if he could describe the knife to me. P told me it was a typical 7-inch blade hunting skinning knife. P told me he had heard that G's grades in school had dropped and that L had been extremely verbally abusive to him. I asked how L and G would travel to Moscow from Boise. P told me he believed they would ride the bus when they traveled. P told me when they stayed in Moscow at D's house, G and his sister would stay in the basement and L would sleep outside or in one of the 2 sheds in the backyard. Who are
What the
these
hell?
people?
What the hell is going on here?
This is taking a turn, man. What is this?
The Boondocks.
Yeah. P told me the significance of this was that G would keep his knives in the basement of D's house, in the wood pile that was outside or in one of the 2 sheds in the backyard. P told me around the end of May or sometime in the middle of June, after COVID was letting up, he was at the Mad Greek having a late lunch or early dinner. P told me this was on a Saturday or Sunday. P told me he had ordered a glass of wine, which he is sure that Ethan brought him. P told me he is not sure if Ethan worked at Mad Greek or was just helping out. P told me a bit later, that's so sweet because I could totally see Ethan just helping Xana as she was working, just maybe taking a glass of wine or something to the table.
I wouldn't have believed this had we not heard earlier that he was up there at her work a lot.
Yeah.
That would be kind of weird.
P told me a bit later he noticed G had come into the restaurant with possibly D, who is G's cousin. P told me Xana and Madison had gone over to G's table and Ethan later joined them. P told me it appeared to be a heated conversation, but he could not tell what it was about. P suspected it may have to do with the cancel culture and that G was stirring them up with conservative comments. P told me G left without eating anything. Later that night, around 9 to 10 p.m., P was at D's house in his backyard. P said that L was extremely drunk and she was yelling at G. P said she stated, quote, "You are just a loser and you're going to spend your life in jail. You are ruining your life." P was not sure what L was referencing when she said this. P told me G left right after this altercation and he did not see him again. P told me G goes on long walks and does not return until the early morning hours. P told me, yeah.
They might want to check in for Buddy the dog, man.
Yeah, I know, right? P told me he was going over to D's the next morning, picking up some tarps from a job he has been doing, and G showed up. P told me he asked G what he does after he leaves when his mom is yelling at him. G told him he goes over to the college. P told me G believes the college is to blame for how his mom is. What is going on here?
We got to put
We
our
need some
tinfoil hats on.
context. We for sure need some context for this because this is a bit weird.
I don't know what's funnier. It's like the sister in the shed or that this person knows people.
Picking up the random tarps, conservative comments, blaming mom for the college. It's just strange.
It's so odd.
Yeah. So P told G he believes college is to blame for how his mom is. First of all, sorry, but usually it's not going to college is to blame for you. Look at how your life turned out. College is to blame in this scenario, okay? Nothing is what it seems. So P told me G believes the college is to blame for how his mom is. P explains that D went to parties at the college and began drinking. P told me he does not know for sure, but believes that D may have been a schmaped at one of the college parties. P told me he asked G about the conversation that took place at the Mad Greek restaurant. P said that G told him that he had followed the girls to the Mad Greek from the college. G told P that the 2 girls were lesbians. G told P that he went back to the girls' house, and when they came home, he was inside the house and made the statement, quote, "They had no idea that I was there. I could have killed them all if I wanted to." Wow. P told me G then went and got a larger knife from out of the back shed and showed him. P told me every time he was around G and G's mom would explode on him, he always stayed very calm and would not react to her. I am so very confused because, like, I can't even figure out what kind of scenario is going on here with these redactions or not understanding what kind of family this is.
It is. I'm actually interested in the side story.
Right.
This is odd. Very odd.
I don't know, Princess Scary. These are just tips. But what I keep thinking about is and using her alternate perpetrator based on one of these tips. And Shay, that's the second time I called Harlot Shay. This is supplemental report 77. Wow. That
Yeah,
was
that was
a
just
bit of a weird one.
yeah, I don't even know what to think about it. Oh, hold on one second. Melissa, sorry.
Hold on. You're welcome, Harlot. I don't know. That was a very weird report. Yep. So there's that. Hey, MK. Hey,
I'm
MK.
I'm back up. I'm back, sorry. I was I was cooking, so
Oh, what are you?
um
Vegetables?
well, I'm making chicken nuggets, green beans, and macaroni for the kid in the hub.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets?
I wish they just, is so upset that I don't have any right now. It's not the same, she said.
It's not the same.
No dino chicken nuggets. Okay, so packing up personal items for Danny Vargas on December 7th, 2022. I assisted with packing up and moving personal belongings from 1122 King Road to the MPD secured storage garage. K- KP, Captain Linear, and I packed up items in Bethany's room and Dylan's room. On December 8th, I spoke with RM. So that would be Dylan's dad, or maybe. M initially wanted to retrieve some items for Mortensen, but then stated Mortensen would come retrieve all of her items sometime after the holidays. On December 15th, I spoke with TV, who is a blank for Funk. B asked if we could send Bethany her reading classes, passport, and iPad to blank with the investigator who would be coming to interview her. Captain Lanier and I retrieved the reading glasses and passport from Bethany's personal items at the MPD secured storage. I sent an email to V stating we would be sending the glasses and passport, but could not release the iPad yet as it was one of the items seized during the search warrant. V asked when Bethany could get the rest of her personal belongings, and I told him she could contact me and we would make arrangements to return all of her items, which are in our secured storage. I gave Bethany's glasses and passport to ISP Mike Mooney, who would be giving the items to the appropriate ISP investigator who would be traveling to Blank to speak with Bethany.
Okay.
That is interesting.
Let's see. We have meta warrants.
Oh, fuck.
So, December 1st, requested an amended warrant for Meta, the parent company for Facebook and Instagram, for the accounts associated with the following identifiers. December 2nd, received signed warrant. December 4th, logged into Meta law enforcement portal. During the service of the warrant, I found I was not able to add the phone number of redacted as an identifier for Jack Decor account. This information was not entered into the portal. December 8th, Meta sent an email stating the files were ready to download. I logged into the portal and downloaded the files provided pursuant to the warrant. These files were downloaded to a computer in the secured computer forensic lab at the MPD. Examination of the data will be conducted at the earliest convenience. And then, yeah, we know the rest. What's this? Reddit warrant.
Reddit for Detective Mowry on December 1st, 2022. I applied and was granted a warrant for all information in Reddit's possession, consisting of information related to the crime of homicide on the Reddit account of Kaylee Goncalves with any of the following identifiers: Kaylee Goncalves, mobile phone number, a blank email addresses, the Yahoo and Gmail accounts between January 1st, 2021 to December 1st, 2022. On December 1st, 2022, the warrant was served. On December 19th, I received an email from Reddit containing the data requested pursuant to the warrant. I completed the warrant returned and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County prosecutor that also emailed a copy receipt to Reddit. And that was by Mowry. Come on, I'm ready through the warrants.
Okay, Gonsalves's Gmail warrant. December 15th, applied and granted warrant for the release of data for the email address gmail.com. Warrant was served. Received an email from Google stating the data requested is available. Logged into the Google portal. Put it to the MPD forensic laboratory. That's it. That's literally it. That's all it says.
That's it. That's all you got.
Well, I'm not going to start wasting my mouth words. And when I say that, I mean, again, I'll start to mess up my words once I speak too much. So I don't want to waste my mouth words, my good mouth words, for something that's so repetitive and it's just protocol, you know?
My good mouth words.
My good mouth words while I could still speak, basically. Hi, Tony.
This is another Reddit warrant service. So on December 1st, 2022, I applied and granted a warrant for all the information in Reddit's possession consisting of information related to the crime homicide. Am I reading the right one on Reddit account? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is in reviewing the data. I'm gonna go down to that. I found the account was registered on November 18th, 2020. There was one message post located, which was posted on January 22nd, 2021 under the subreddit redacted with the following text. Any idea what could cause this type of acne? Never struggled with acne before. I started developing these types of bumps on my jawline, chin, and down my neck. The rest of my face is clear. I'm on a hormonal birth control. Tried everything to get rid of it and nothing helps. The only other message I located appeared to be an automated message from Reddit on December 11th, 2021 with the subject line of your 2021 Reddit recap. So that was completed. So she wasn't really active on there, or at least posting.
Okay, supplemental report 83, forensic extraction from Kaylee.
Mhm.
December 14th, I requested to complete a forensic extraction on an iPhone provided by CK. K signed a consent to search form for the device and it provided me. Wait. CK? I'm not sure. The iPhone was powered on and I placed it into airplane mode to protect any potential evidence on the phone from being removed or remotely deleted. I took photos of the device and attached them to the case file. Phone required a passcode to access the data. K provided a passcode. In examining the iPhone, I first looked for identifiers, indica of use, and ownership. The device was black in color with a black colored case. The device was running on iOS 15 and showed a model number. The name of the phone was iPhone redacted. The phone had a serial number of redacted IME number. It showed the user as redacted with an email of the phone number assigned to the phone was redacted. In continuing with my examination, I made the following changes. Auto lock was turned off. Those changes allow the phone and the forensic computer to communicate and share information properly. The phone was then connected to the forensic computers running the following forensic software tools. The extraction was saved to a computer and then sent and returned.
You think that is Xana's mom?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking as you're reading through it. It could be, could be. 84. Okay, this is for forensic extraction B. On December 15th, 2022, Detective Mowry, he requested to complete a forensic extraction on a Samsung cell phone by LB. B signed a consent to search for the device, and it was provided to me by ISP Detective Hugh Powell. The phone was powered on. I placed it into airplane mode to protect any potential evidence from being removed or remotely deleted. I took photos of the device and attached them to the case file. The phone required a passcode to access the device. B provided this passcode. Fred had a passcode, his swipe code of blah, blah, blah. In examining the Samsung Z Flip 4, I first looked for identifiers, indica of use, and ownership. The device was black in color, black color case. The device was running Android iOS 15.1 and showed a model number of blah, blah, blah. So we don't know who this was actually for, but in continuing my examination of the phone, I made the following changes to the phone settings. Developer mode was turned on. USB debugging was turned on. Stay awake was turned on. Auto update system was turned off. Verify apps was turned off. These changes allow the phone and forensic computer to communicate and share information properly. And that's about it. These must be people that they're looking into, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I gotta make Bay a plate real quick, so I'll be right back. I'll be listening.
November 26th, I applied and was granted a warrant for any data associated with knife sales of the following items: a K-Bar full-size U.S. Marine Corps fighting knife and a K-Bar leather sheath USMC logo. On November 26th at approximately 15:32 hours, the warrant was served via FedEx. And with the FBI assisted in the production and service of the warrants. December 8th, received an email from FAD. The email was to response from Amazon stating the data was available to download. I received a second email. With the data returned, I completed the warrant and sent back to the court. Let's see, what's this one? This is just Kernodle property release. Release property from Xana's personal property in her car. Kernodle told me he was going to have someone drive down and retrieve the item since he was in redacted. The 17th of December, emailed the form back indicating he was giving permission for RN to take custody of the property and car. December 20th, N called me and said she would be in Moscow later that morning to collect Xana's property and car. I met with N at the Moscow City's shop around 11:30 that day. I released 9 boxes containing Xana's personal items from the house and the 22 blue Honda Civic, signed for and took custody of the items. Then we have just a property release of, let me see, Dylan Mortensen. I met with Dylan's dad and released passport, Ziploc bag of jewelry, small black purse, Nike Air Jordan shoes, North Face black puffy coat, signed for it. And yeah. Okay, video capture. On December 22nd, I was tasked with reinstalling the exterior camera known as the light bulb camera at King Road to capture some comparison video and audio. I contacted the tenants who gave me permission to access her residence and conduct the recording. Upon arrival, I unplugged the power to the current router and removed the camera from the light socket on the exterior of the residence. I powered on the router I had secured from the residence earlier and installed the camera. While installing the camera, I hear a crack and felt the light bulb base mount become loose. It should be noted the approximate temperature outside while installing the camera was between 5 and 9 degrees. I previously had installed a new SD card into the camera and powered on the router and camera at the MPD to ensure the camera was functional. I then was able to monitor the camera using the Home Eye Pro app on my phone. Corporal Payne was able to drive a white-colored vehicle into the view of the camera. Sergeant Dustin Blaker parked a vehicle near the residence and closed the doors and trunks on a vehicle for audio comparison. A K-9 unit from Lewis County Sheriff's Office was utilized to capture barking audio comparison from the residence. Upon completion of the data collection, I powered off the evidentiary router and removed the camera from the light socket. In doing so, the base detached from the camera and a wire became disconnected. I gathered the router and camera, placed them back into their evidentiary bags, and returned them back to the secure computer forensic lab. I reinstalled the current camera, reconnected the power to the new router. I contacted Elle to ensure she could access her camera, and she responded in the affirmative. Corporal Payne and I then ensured the residence was locked and left the residence without further incident. Upon returning to the MPD, I was able to download and save to the server.
Ooh, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
I was trying to hurry.
Oh, you got an interview with Bethany.
Okay, interview with Bethany by Dustin Blaker. So on November 13th, 2022, at around 1347 hours, I interviewed Bethany Funk at the Moscow PD in regards of the death of her four roommates. Bethany is a resident of 1122 King Road. Bethany was home sleeping in her room located on the basement floor of the residence. And Bethany has an iPhone 11 Pro cell phone with the passcode redacted. She went to the blank party at around 20:30 hours with Ethan Chapin and Xanakernodle. They hung out in an apartment for a while together. And then Bethany went up to the main part of the fraternity to hang out at the party. Maddie and Kaylee went to the corner club together, not sure when they left. And Bethany did not see Ethan and Xana at the party and left to go to KF residence at Taylor Avenue. Bethany walked home at around one ish, and when she got back to King Road, Dylan and LM were at the residence and they all watched a movie together. Maddie and Kaylee got to the house at around 1:45 or 2 in the morning, and Elle left the house and Dylan went to bed. Bethany hung out with Maddie and Kaylee for a while in Kaylee's room. Bethany and Maddie took Murphy, Kaylee's dog, out to go to the bathroom between 2:30 and 3 in the morning, and Bethany did not stay outside for very long as it was cold. Maddie then went to bed and watched a TV show to help her sleep, Baby Daddy. At around 4 a.m., 4:20 a.m., Bethany heard what she thought was a firework and saw a spark on the ground from under her door. Bethany then heard Murphy barking. Dylan called Bethany and stated she had seen someone in the house, and Bethany told her she could come down to her room and sleep with her. Dylan went to Bethany's room and went to bed. They woke up at around 11 a.m. and talked to other friends who came over, and they checked on Xana and Ethan and found them deceased. Bethany originally called 911 and stated her friend was passed out and would not wake up. Bethany talked about an incident with Kaylee, who stated about a month ago she saw an unknown male up above their house to the south who was staring at her when she took Murphy out to go potty. She stated Kaylee broke up with her longtime boyfriend about 3 months ago because she was planning to move to Texas, and Bethany could not provide me with anything else at that time.
So around 4 or 4:20.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think they were just in shock this first interview, you know?
No, but it was, at least we got a time.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was that then?
Right? I'm dying to know. That was everybody's homework.
So now we have a second interview with Bethany, November 16th. I met with Bethany. Present during the interview, besides me and Bethany, were her parents. This was follow-up. I asked Bethany who had the front door code. Bethany told me the following people had the door code. Bethany, Dylan, Maddie, okay, JM, CC, LM, Ethan, Emily, Alon. Okay. Bethany said the above named people who were the only ones who knew the code. Bethany stated the code for the front door was the same code from the year before. I asked Bethany what the code was, and she stated it was redacted. Bethany stated Maddie was the only roommate who lived in the residence the year before. Bethany stated her, Dylan, and Kaylee moved in around August. Bethany stated Ethan had his own apartment, but she was not sure where it was located. Bethany stated Maddie kept her same room from the year before. Maddie's room was located on the 3rd floor on the east side of the residence. Shay, can you read this one?
Sure can.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. I asked Bethany about Murphy's routine. Murphy was Kaylee's dog she had purchased when she was still dating Jack. Bethany stated Kaylee would primarily take Murphy out, but Maddie would also help. Bethany stated they never just left the door open because he would run away, so they would have to use a leash when they took him out. Bethany stated Murphy would not bark that often and was very friendly. She stated Murphy would primarily sleep in Kaylee's room, and if Kaylee was not home, he would be left in the room. I asked Bethany about the Uber driver Maddie and Kaylee used on a regular basis. She stated Kaylee knew him from other redacted who used him on a regular basis. She stated they would either contact the Uber driver through the app or contact him directly. Bethany stated the Uber driver was very friendly and was always nice to everyone, and everybody trusted him. He was able, Bethany was able to tell me the Uber driver was married and his wife just had a baby. And she told me that he drove a small car, possibly gray or black, but she could not tell me more about the car. I asked Bethany who in the house had a boyfriend. She told me Xana was dating Ethan. Dylan was dating a boy named Quinn, who lived in Boise and went to BSU. Maddie was dating Jack Schreier, who lived in Boise. Kaylee was dating Jack DeCur, but had recently broken up with him. Kaylee was possibly hanging out with MB. Bethany stated M was Xana's big in the Greek system, and Bethany stated the relationship was new and he had never uh, stayed over at the house, but Kaylee had stayed with him possibly more than once. Bethany stated Kaylee was also talking to an ER, also a redacted, and she stated she did not have a boyfriend, but did mention she was kind of hanging out with a KD who is a redacted, but they were not serious. I asked Bethany if she had ever heard of CG, and she stated she knew of C, and he was also a redacted. Bethany stated C was a nice guy and knew D. Dylan, I'm guessing. So I asked Bethany if she knew a CB, and she stated she did not. I asked Bethany if she knew the person behind Kaylee and Maddie on the grub truck video, and she did not know who that person was. I asked Bethany if she knew a guy by the name of S, so maybe Showalter. She stated she did not know him, but stated that she had heard from a friend of Maddie's S that her boyfriend JF, also a redacted, that he would never want to get into a fight with Showalter as he had anger issues. I'm guessing at Showalter, guys. It just says us. I asked Bethany who paid for the Spectrum Wi-Fi account, and she told me it was Kaylee who paid for the account, and she told me the login for the password was redacted and the Wi-Fi name was redacted. She also stated she did not know what the actual username and login was for the account, that was what they were trying to get. I remember on our last reading. So I asked Bethany if she knew of anyone who had gotten asked to leave any of the parties thrown at the house, and she stated two guys from the redacted house, JH and another guy only she knew as R, got in a fight and were told to leave. She stated this fight occurred about a month before the incident at the house, and I asked Bethany about an AC, and Bethany said A used to live in the house but moved out, and I asked her who used the bedroom on the west end of the first floor. And Bethany stated Kaylee and Maddie used the room as an office. She stated Kaylee would use it for her work and had a computer in it. I asked Bethany if any of the girls who lived in the house had jobs. She told me Maddie and Xana were both worked at Mag Greek on Main Street, and Bethany told me Kaylee worked for an online company and worked from home. Bethany did not know what the name of the company was. She also told me Maddie looked for an online company, but worked for an online company, but it was not the same. Bethany said the company Maddie worked for was out of Boise, and during the summer, she worked for them in their office in Boise. So I asked Bethany about the drug use in the house and who used. Bethany told me Ethan and Xana both took Adderall when they drank alcohol. Bethany told me she saw Ethan and Xana both use Adderall the night before the murders. Bethany told me she saw Ethan take a pill and saw Xana crush up a pill and snort it by using a rolled up bill in her room. Bethany also said she thought Kaylee used Adderall but wasn't sure. I asked Bethany if she had any issue from any of the other people who live around them, and she stated besides the 3 to 4 noise complaints they had, there were no other issues. Bethany told me Kaylee would look up who the registered sex offenders who lived in the area. She stated Kaylee had found a registered sex offender who lived close to them in the blue apartments on Queen. She stated he was older in his 30s to 40s, and that Kaylee was looking at that registry within a week or so before the murders. She also stated Kaylee was into crime shows, and there was nothing that happened to prompt her to look up that SO registry. I asked Bethany about the two other incidents where Kaylee had mentioned some weird things that happened. She told me that there was an incident at Winco where a male had followed her around the store, watched her check out, and then followed her to the vehicle. Xana was waiting in the vehicle. And so Bethany stated Kaylee said the male was African American and in his late 20s. She felt it had happened sometime before Halloween, so mid to late October. And Bethany stated Kaylee purchased a case of White Claws for Xana. Bethany and her roommates had found the door open on November 4th at around 10:57 and go back down. Oh, you got it. I think it's on I'm on like the bottom of the third page.
Okay, you could just read. Go ahead.
Okay. Bethany and her roommates had found the door open on November 4th at around 10:57, and they entered the house and grabbed golf clubs out of the west first floor bedroom. Bethany and the other roommates walked around the house with the golf clubs to check the house, and Kaylee was not home for this incident as she had gone home for the weekend. The wind was blowing and the screws on the hinges were loose, and Xana's dad fixed it before he left that weekend. Okay, so we got that clarity. So Kaylee told everyone about an incident where she saw a male watching her when she had taken Murphy out back to go to the bathroom. Bethany could not remember when this happened, but she could not provide an actual day. She stated that she had been at a chapter meeting at the time Kaylee called them asking them if they were going to be home soon. The following is a timeline of events of November 12, 2022 to November 13, 2022. Bethany stated she was the last one in the house to wake up, and when she got up, Ethan was in the house in the living room, and Kaylee, Dylan, Maddie, and Xana were all gone. Bethany felt she got up sometime between 10 and 11 in the morning. Bethany stated she checked her Find My Friends app and saw they were at Taco Bell at that time. Once Kaylee, Dylan, Maddie, and Xana got back, they started getting ready for the day. Kaylee, Dylan, Maddie, and Bethany were in Kaylee's room, and they were getting ready for a party at Taylor Street, the Whites. The house belonged to B, S, and K. The apartment is located on the second floor of the far east side of the apartment building. And Bethany stated this was between 11 to 12 in the afternoon. And sorry, yeah. So Bethany stated Kaylee left for the Whites before the rest of the group, and that she left around 2 p.m. with Maddie, Dylan, Xana, Ethan, Hunter Johnson, JLY, maybe Josie, K, A, maybe Emily, and somebody else. So she stated she started drinking at around 11:30 or 12 when still at King Road, and they were drinking mimosas and high noons throughout the night. Bethany also stated she played a drinking game called Rage Cage later in the night, and she felt like she drank a 12 pack of high noons during the night, two mimosas and a standard wine glass. So she was unsure of what she had been drinking when she played Rage Cage. Bethany stated she was at the Whites up until 1548 hours when she left with Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Dylan. And when she left with Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Dylan, they all stayed at the Whites. Ethan had left before her and Xana. Bethany and Xana went to a B's place somewhere on Taylor. Bethany and Xana left there at around 4:51 and went to King Road. Bethany, Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Dylan were all at the house and made some food. Ethan was not at the house during this time. At around looks like 6 o'clock, Bethany, Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Dylan all went to take a nap, and they all set alarms for 8 o'clock. Bethany got up at 8 o'clock at night. So once they all woke up, they got ready to go to the blank for a house party. Maddie and Bethany left first to go to Key's apartment at blank around what was that? Oh, was it 9 o'clock? Yeah, 9 o'clock. So Kaylee stayed home and was not going to go to that party. So Ethan and Xana came over to the party after Bethany and Maddie. Dylan did not come with the rest and walked over at a later time. Maddie was not there for very long and she went back to the house to go to the club with Kaylee. Bethany felt Maddie left sometime around, I guess around 9 o'clock. One of Bethany's friends, YA, got to the redacted and hung out with her. She stated Y showed up at around 2200 hours. They stayed in one of the apartments for a little longer, and she and Y went up to the main house for the redacted fraternity. She stated this might have been around 2230 hours to 2245 hours. She states she hung out in the main part of the house for a while, and before she left, guessing this is a Sigma Chi fraternity, she saw Ethan and Xana in P's apartment, and Bethany stated this was also around 12:17 in the morning. Bethany and Y went to A's house again on Taylor. She stated her, J, H, K, and Y were the only ones at the house. Bethany stated she walked home at around 1 o'clock in the morning, and Dylan and LM were the only ones in the house. Bethany, Dylan, and L were watching Vampire Diaries for a while. At around 1:22 in the morning, L left. Dylan went to her room after L left. At around 2 in the morning, Kaylee and Maddie came home. Maddie, Kaylee, Dylan, and Bethany went up to Kaylee's. So now she's saying Dylan went up. Okay. Went up to Kaylee's bedroom once they got home. Kaylee was getting ready for bed as they were hanging out in her room. And Bethany, Maddie, and Dylan went downstairs. And Maddie and Bethany took Murphy outside to let him go to the bathroom. See, this is conflicting. Because she said Dylan went to bed. I'm
Shay,
kind of
I'm not paying
confused.
attention to any of this. My TMJ is completely acting up right now. I'm trying to wait for you to finish because I'm gonna have to end abruptly, which I'm really sorry for, but I
We
got
can go ahead and end this one. It's okay.
to. Okay. I'm
We'll
totally
come
going
back
to.
to
I'm so
this.
sorry, guys. I'm not listening to anything you're saying right now. Not because I don't want to, but because it just like that just flared up. And so we're gonna go
Oh,
to Allie's. Allie will be live right after me. Sorry, I just totally have to end. Ugh,
you're
I'm
okay.
sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna hop off. Everything's better. Go to Allie's. Sorry, Shay. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.